have nothing. The waitress was amazing. We had a great waitress, great bartender. Like, I have nothing negative, no negative critiques about that restaurant. So if you ever visit Charlotte, you live in Charlotte area, make sure you check out Iron Dish Korean Barbecue. So now that I've told you guys about that, today I'm going to be delivering you guys a nursing video. You know, my hair is kind of sticking up, but anyways, I'm going to deliver you guys a nursing video, and today's topic is going to be a few things that I found beneficial to know before starting nursing school. A few of these things, if you're a CNA or patient care tech, they're called different things in different states. Here in North Carolina, it's called CNA, Certified Nursing Assistant. You know about a few of these things because they teach you that in CNA class. And here, majority of the schools that are here in North Carolina, you have to have your CNA upon starting your nursing program. And I actually see why we had to know these things before starting nursing, because it's very beneficial to know. So the first thing I will tell you guys that is very beneficial to know are vital signs. So you want to know what vital signs are. So vital signs are temperature, pulse, respirations, blood pressure, and some people consider pain a vital sign because pain is very important in nursing, because pain is on a spectrum. What I might consider pain, you might not consider pain. So one thing that they tell us as nurses is to consider pain whatever your patient says it is. Now, don't get me wrong, when you get into nursing, you get on your floor, even in the nursing home, I see this. You see a few people complain about pain just to get their medication around the clock. Not here to judge. I don't know what anybody else's pain feels like, but there are always gonna be a few people who know exactly what time they can get their medication. They're going to ask if they can get their medication more frequently, change their orders to get it more frequently. But pain is very important for nurses, and it's very important for CNAs to tell nurses whenever a patient tells them that they're in pain. But anyway, so it would be very beneficial if you knew what vital signs are. If you want to go a little bit more in depth, then I would actually study what the normal range for those vital signs are. Normal pulse range, normal temperature range, normal blood pressure, normal respirations. If you want to just really get in depth, because that's going to be very important whenever you get to nursing school, because a lot of the questions, they're not just going to be priority questions. When you first start nursing school, a lot of your questions are going to be based off of vital signs that are out of range, vital signs that are within range. So it will be very beneficial for you to know those things. Another thing that I would consider important for you guys to know before starting nursing school is just basic human anatomy. When I was in LPN school, I believe that you didn't have to have anatomy in order to apply. However, if you did have it, it would give you more points when it came to getting into the program. So a few people were actually taking anatomy along with the nursing courses. And I wouldn't suggest doing that, because first you want to know basic anatomy. You want to know what bones are, you know, just the basic bones like the femur, the radial, because, you know, when you check a pulse, you're gonna take a radial pulse, so you want to know what bone that is, where, you know, so you know it's kind of where to find it. Or brachial, you want to know where to find the brachial pulse. So in order to know where the brachial pulse is, you need to know where the brachial bone is in your body. So yeah, I would really consider have already taken anatomy. In order to get into the RN program, I know that you had to have anatomy, and that was a prerequisite for that. But LPN, I don't believe it was a prerequisite, because I knew a couple of people who were taking it alongside the nursing classes for the nursing programs, and as long as they passed anatomy, they would get their LPN diploma. So yeah, basic anatomy would be amazing to already know. I have my notebook here. I don't want to miss anything, and I don't want to ramble. Outside of basic anatomy, I would suggest that you learn the metric system. The way that I remember the metric system is King Henry danced merrily down Central Main. So King, the K, it's a I don't even know the word I'm thinking about, but it's an acronym. So King would be kilos, Henry would be, okay, I'm getting stuck. But anyways, they all Henry. Then dance would be Desi, and Marilee would be, you know, the main thing, like meters. And it would just go on, and for some reason off the top of my head I have to write things down. I'm a very visual person, so anyways, in order, it would be beneficial for you to know the metric system and kind of know how it coincides, like 8 ounces equals 30 milliliters. Like knowing those things, it will really help you in pharmacology, the pharmacology part of nursing. So if you want to get ahead of the game, and I would definitely want to know how to convert things from, I'm not sure what ounces and pounds and stuff are considered. I can't remember which system that is. I'm sorry, I'm having so many brain farts. But if you want to get ahead of the game, make sure you know how many ounces are in a pound, how many ounces are in a tablespoon. Those types of things would definitely benefit you to whenever you're starting nursing school. You'll be ahead of the game if you know that. Another thing I have here is how to take manual blood pressures. I remember in LPN school, they taught, so in CNA class, I believe they taught us how to do manual blood pressures, but I didn't really get good at it until I got into nursing school whenever we started clinicals. And I would want, and it's very important how to know and be good at taking a manual blood pressure. If you don't know what a manual blood pressure is already, it's whenever you have a blood pressure cuff that you have to listen on your own in order to get someone's blood pressure. Nowadays we have lots of different type of blood pressure machines that are electronic. You can find blood pressure cuffs that fit on your arm. You can find portable electric blood pressure cuffs that go on, you know, the top of your arm. And then in the nursing home and in the hospital we have electric blood pressure cuffs. So, you know, and it's important to know how to take a manual blood pressure, because a lot of times when you use the machines are, first of all, only as good as the person using them, but also they're computerized and they leave a lot of room for error. So what I see a lot of times is our CNAs are responsible for getting vital signs in both the nursing home and both the hospital. And sometimes you'll see CNAs who will get blood pressures that are too high, get blood pressures that are too low, and they're not within normal range. So one thing I always tell my CNAs before they come to me and I take a manual blood pressure is for them to take the blood pressure on the opposite arm. Because sometimes this arm will be so tired, or this arm would maybe have an IV in it. So I tell my CNAs, if they come to me with a really wacko vital sign blood pressure, I always ask them to get it on the other arm. And if that arm is also too high or too low, then I go in and I take the blood pressure manually. And you have to do it a lot in order to get good at it. Now that now a lot of nurses, I know they don't like to take manual blood pressures because they're not good at it. They don't do it often, and so they don't really understand the gist of it. Maybe one day I'll go into a video on how to like do manual blood pressures, all that type of stuff, but right now we're just talking about things that would be beneficial for you to know before starting nursing school. And it'll be very beneficial for you to know how to take manual blood pressures, because that was something that we did a lot in the beginning of LPN school. And again, I didn't go straight into RN school, so I'm not sure what they teach RNs within the first semester or two of RN school, but I'm almost positive that they teach you how to do manual blood pressure. So if you already know how to do them, you'll be ahead of the game. And if you really want to go in depth on something that will help you in nursing school, are electrolytes. I have to read my notes here. So this is if you really want to go in depth with learning stuff, because electrolytes are very important. Electrolytes in the hospital, looking at your labs every day, it is very important. And even though the computer tells you what is normal range and what is not, you still want to be able to know off the top of your head what is a normal potassium level or range of potassium, what is the normal range for calcium, what is the normal range for magnesium, what is the normal range for phosphate, and what is the normal range for chloride. If you already know those things and study those things, it will take you so far in nursing school, because a lot, if not almost all of your prioritization questions are not only going to be about out of range vital signs, but a lot of nursing school you learn about electrolytes, because electrolytes are what keep your body going. Potassium has a lot to do with the function of your heart rate. If it's too high, your heart will beat out of whack. You'll get certain heart arrhythmias or whatever, and if it's too low, you know, you'll get the same thing. So potassium plays a huge role in how your heart beats, how your heart works. Same thing with calcium. So it would be so beneficial if you just kind of look at those things and know what normal range is, because once you get into nursing school, everybody else is going to be trying to learn those things, because they take a while to learn the normal range. And it takes a while to learn what each electrolyte does for your body and what happens to your body whenever they're out of range. Like calcium, some electrolytes, if they're out of range, you get very bad cramps, and so many different things that can happen whenever you have electrolytes out of range, because it's very specific upon what electrolyte it is. And a lot of electrolytes go out of range due to vomiting, or if one is too high, the other electrolyte is too low. So if you really want to get ahead of the game, I would just study what electrolytes are in the normal range for electrolytes. You'll be very far, you'll be way ahead of what everybody else knows. Another thing that I would suggest you know before starting nursing school is who's gonna keep your kids. I'm just gonna be real with y'all. Like, who is going to keep your children? If you have children, who's gonna keep them whenever you have to study? Who's gonna keep them whenever you have to go to class? Because nursing school, you go to school almost 5 days out of the week, and you don't go to school for an hour here, an hour there. You go to school for like 3 hours here, 12 hours there, like, and you might have 1 day of the week off, and you take that 1 day to study, because you can't study during clinicals, which in my case, one time I had clinicals for 6 hours, and then one semester I had clinicals for 12 hours, which gave me more days off during the week. But you're gonna have to spend a lot of time away from your family, a lot of time away from your children. And I know that one issue I had, and another issue that several of the parents that I went to school with had, was who is going to keep their children if they are not old enough to stay home by themselves, or responsible enough to keep themselves. So I know it sounds like I'm trying to be funny, but I'm telling you that is very important to know. You have to have a very strong support system in order to make it through nursing school. I know people who had to quit just for the fact that they were not able to spend enough time away from their families to study, to prepare for tests, to go to clinicals. You would be surprised how many people start off in nursing programs already knowing how hard it is to get in these nursing programs, but they will get in, start these programs with great intentions, good intentions, and turn around and have to quit because they didn't have people to keep their children. They didn't have enough time to stay away from their family. So it's very important to know who's going to keep your children. And I think that's actually the last note that I had. So as always, I hope that this video was beneficial to you. I think this is one of my shorter videos, and it still seems like it's getting a little long. But yeah, in case you didn't already know and you made it through this whole video, first of all, I want to say thank you. Thank you for making it through. I needed that view. But I also want to let you know my name is Lanice. Camera, you can't record more than like 16 minutes at a time. So again, my name is Lanice. I am a registered nurse in the state of North Carolina. I did start off as an LPN. I was an LPN from 2014 to 2020, which is when I graduated my RN. I love my job. I am a med-surg nurse right now, and you know, I just deliver content to kind of help people who are trying to get through nursing school, trying to start nursing school, all of that stuff. And yeah, that's about it. So I hope that you guys learned something from this. I hope it was very informative for you, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get off of here before I continue to ramble. Peace.